WeVysya, WeTalk వెలుగుదాం స్ఫూర్తి నింపుతో గెలుపే మన సొంతం. WeVysya.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the WeTalk show on episode 49, season 2. I'm really glad that I could join you for yet another episode on this Monday evening to have a chance to introduce you to a guest and moderate a conversation with him, because this very special gentleman is hailing from Koundinya House, and we will get a chance, thanks to the platform WeTalk show, to learn about this gentleman who is staying miles away from all of us. And before we get to know more about him, I would urge everyone to please sit down, grab a snack, sit with your family, and enjoy the conversation we're going to have with Kirtish from Bangalore. This gentleman belongs to a trade, or we could call it as a business, that is growing at a rate of 11.2% CAGR compared to 2022-23 and 2023-24. So let's see what he has in store to let us all know. But before any of this, I hope that you all had a wonderful, relaxing, and rejuvenating weekend. And I also hope that you're going to have a very, very productive, relaxing, and a wonderful week ahead, which is going to be the winter Christmas month. And let's see what Kirtish has in store. Before we welcome Kirtish onto the screen and ask him more questions, Kirtish is running a preschool business, and he is a master franchisee owner. And there are a lot of terminologies that we'll know and get a lot more clarity about. Let's have Kirtish onto the screen. Hi, Kirtish. Good evening. How are you?
Hi, good evening. I'm doing good. How about you?
All well, by God's grace, Kirtish. I'm so glad that we have a chance to talk to you today for the next 30 to 45 minutes and learn more about you and your business and your family as well.
Sure. Yeah. Thanks.
Right, Kirtish. Let's start. Let's start off from the. I've already introduced you, telling that you belong to the preschool business, to all the guests who are watching you today.
Mhm.
But before that, let us get to know a little more about you, just yourself. Where you hail from? Where is your family from? Who are there in your family? A brief introduction about yourself, just to ensure that it's a nice breaking session for all of us who go to see this.
Yeah, sure. So, as you can see my name on the screen, Kirtish Makam. So, basically, I'm born and brought up in Bangalore, but I had a significant amount of my education career in, Andhra, I would say. I studied in a residential school in Madanapalli. So, after which, I did my high schooling, everything in Karnataka in Bangalore. I did my, BBM, MBA, and also I have a science background. So, I have done my D Pharma also and B.Ed. So these are some courses, and also after I came into the business, I happened to also do my course from IIT Bombay as a digital marketer and data analytics. So I did a few of the courses basically that will help my business grow.
Super cases. That's very good to know. How did this connection to Madanapalli happen? Just because it has a good residential school, or do you have anyone there?
No, it's just because they had a very good residential schools there. So one of my I don't know how I was a child when my dad decided to put me there. So it was
All right.
actually a very good decision by him, I would say.
Very good. Very good. Every decision that a parent makes for us ultimately is going to be good.
Right.
Right, Kirtish. Now I understand that you have a very, very vivid profile. Because you were talking about a residential school, and then you've been a day scholar. You've been to a business administration school, and then you did a digital marketing course at IIT Bombay. You've seen the best of the technical side and the best of the honor side as well. What do you think is much better? Did you like the IIT experience at Bombay when you compare it to the business administration course that you could have done in Bangalore?
Yes, definitely. Every course, every journey is definitely very special and something very new that has come into my, progress of what I'm currently doing right now. So,
Okay.
by the way, IIT Bombay, the digital marketing course that I had done it online. I had not done it offline in the campus itself, but it was an
All right.
online program, and that too, it was during the COVID that I had taken up this program because we don't have any other work to do. So we thought, let me upskill myself. So I probably that was the best thing that I could do during that time. So
Super, super. That the COVID period is a blessing in disguise for a few people who happen to, do their work from home or do digital courses and, add on to their skill sets.
I definitely agree with that. In fact, the importance of skilling oneself was realized only during COVID period, and also for me, 1 year before COVID, I could say, or say about 4 months before. there was a program called how to teach online. So this was a course, and this was for about 3 days of program. And for 3 days
Okay.
of program, it was around 25,000 something. So for 3 days, 25,000, who would pay? It's crazy amount and such thing. But still, I took that risk and then took up that offline training program. Back then, there was no online training and all, right? So it was an offline training program here in Bangalore in one restaurant, and it
Okay.
turned out to be a blessing in disguise for me. After a few months, the COVID hit, and then I could take my whole company into online within a fraction of about say 1.5 month only.
Wonderful. That's quite an achievement, Kirtish. So you had a chance to upskill yourself, and at the same time, you immediately had an opportunity wherein you can execute the plan. Wonderful, Kirtish. That's very good to know. Right. So, how did this preschool sink in later? Because I see that you have finished digital marketing courses and you're into BBA. Where
Uh,
did this idea strike of a preschool business?
to be honest, I first did a pharmacy course, and then later on in 2017, I came into this early childhood education. So my father
Okay.
actually started this preschool called Little Kids back in 2004. So
Okay.
after he started, until 2016, he was taking care of it. After which I joined him to basically add more numbers, and I started a teacher training institute called NICC, formalized the teacher training, I would say. And
Okay.
also recently in 2021, we I basically the COVID time was the time where we used to pay salaries, and then still we have to get some work done. So basically that was a time where we have discovered, or launched another company called Little Bees. So Little Bees is basically the publication into the early childhood education. The books was launched in the year 2022.
Good. Good. Quite a varied one. It sounds very, very vivid. You have touched a lot of aspects of this part of the business, I believe. Now the first question comes. I've been listening to you, but then there's a lot of confusion, maybe to all the viewers as well. What are the differences between all these terminology? One says it is preschool, another person says it's kindergarten, someone says it's daycare, someone says it's childcare, someone calls it nursery. Are these different words for the same kind of curriculum, or are we missing something?
Basically, since our independence, we had only one education policy here in India, which was in 1980s, that was implemented and recently amended. So we have this 2020. We all hear about this NEP, National Education Policy 2020, right?
Okay.
So until 2020, the pre-primary education was mostly unorganized, or it was not in a formalized manner. It was not recognized by any of the boards, in fact. Only the
Okay.
schooling starts from the first standard, but all of us, you, me, have probably have gone to the preschooling when we were young. But it was more like a unorganized sector, which the government had no department to actually look into it. To be
Okay.
honest, we started the teacher training back in 2008. Okay, so until 2017, right? So there was no rule for any person working in a pre-primary school to have a certification or training. So it was all if any person is there who has done their degree or 10th standard, or they're free at home, they want to get engaged with children, so they would go to any preschool and start working there as a teacher. So such untrained, or the statutory requirement for having a certification was not there until 2017. Even now,
Okay.
the numbers, if at all I say, you would be shocked. Close to around 90% of the teacher or preschools in India are still having teachers that are untrained in the preschooling sector.
That's a huge number.
Yeah. So
That's like no
there
one
is,
is trained. 90%, more than 90% is like no one is trained.
yes, nobody is trained. It is all through experience. They have been working under some other teacher, and then out of passion, they combine, start teaching the children inside the classroom. That's how it is.
Okay, but then the brighter side is that a lot of these people have a lot of passion in teaching the young ones. So it's just about formalizing
Yes.
and organizing the sector.
Yeah, I would say most of them who come into the profession are usually passionate, but some of
Okay.
them would come into the profession because they cannot take up a full time job, so they would usually come to this profession. And this is a set of lot that is really not recommended lot, or untrained lot, right? They want to just be engaged for about 3-4 hours in a day and then get some salary for that. So
Okay.
this is the crowd that we wish to train. Passionate teachers will anyways learn, like when we have passion in what we are doing, we will learn and try to innovate in what we are doing. So the ones who are coming for the only the job is the one which needs proper training to coming to this profession.
Correct, but that poses a real challenge to you, right? Because these people are the resources. They are the human resources. Or these are a capital that you invest in running a preschool, isn't it?
You're right, very true.
Right, right. So, Kitish, I see that the preschool business has been booming. I had a chance to run through a report wherein the CAGR, the compounded annual growth rate of this particular business, is set somewhere around 11%, which is more
Mhm.
than actual GDP of the country. It is
Yeah,
at 11.2%, and it is projected to grow very fast, probably about 40 to 42%. So, how do you feel that? Do you also sense that kind of a growth in this sector?
probably comparing the growth of the sector with the GDP is not the right method. I would feel comparing it
Okay,
with the growing population would be much more appropriate. We are now the the biggest population in the world. We are having
right,
the highest number of people in the world, and the numbers keeps on growing exponentially, right?
correct.
So, as the number of the population is growing, the number of schools that is being required in the society also keeps on increasing. There are some schools, to be honest. See, now tier one towns are kind of saturated because we have a preschool in every single road, or three, four in an area. So tier two towns and three towns are the ones that are having very less of schools, more population. So the challenge to have a good quality education in the tier two and three towns are much more higher now than in the bigger cities like Bangalore.
Kitchen, there's a lag in it. Can you please repeat that for us?
Yes, the requirement for good early education is much more in tier two and three towns than in the big cities like Bangalore, because Bangalore has around two three preschools for every area,
Right. Okay.
right? So if at all you visit any preschool in Bangalore, say you have around 100 admissions already. But in preschools in rural places like tier two and three, now I would not say rural because most of the towns are all very very well developed and connected now. So they also, although they are considered as tier one and two, like Tumkur and Davangere, and there are so many other towns in Karnataka that I can quote, like in Andhra also Anantapur and these places. So there are so many children in each class. There are say around 60 children. In fact, one of my friend also runs a school in tier
Okay.
two town. So he's got basically around 80 children in a classroom, just because there is so much of demand and less number of schools.
Okay.
He's
Okay.
managing it with around two teachers in each classroom. So that is a very odd number. So the opportunity is still there for preschooling industry, and a lot more chunk is there that people can take up.
Okay. So, what is the intake? What age do you take a ward into your preschool?
So preschooling, the admissions usually starts by around 2 years and above. So for 2 years,
Okay.
we call it as toddlers or pre-primary. Okay,
Okay.
and for 3 years and above, we call nursery, and
Okay.
4 years and above, it is LKG, and 5 years for UKG. This is according to the new NEP rule, that
Okay.
this age group is being little bit changed now.
I should really thank you for putting forward this clarification because at least I am among those people who often get confused among all these terms.
Yeah, for the first
Right.
of
Right.
June, the child has to be 3 years to get into LKG. Okay,
All
or
right.
you can say the child has to be 6 years by 1st of June to take the admission in the first standard. So you can
Right.
calculate based on that accordingly. There are some parents that are currently having this trouble because their child is born on 4th of June. It's just 4 years elder, but still they are not
Okay.
eligible to take up the admissions during this time. So you'll have to consider the timing as 30th of March, okay, and to 1st of the say 1st of June. The child has to be
Okay.
at least 5 years, 10 months, or 6 years during this period of time to be eligible.
All right. Okay. Okay. So, other than the population, do you also think that the size of the families are ensuring that there's a lot of demand for the preschools? Because we can see that a small family or an average family now has two parents, mother and father, and one or two children. So
Right.
in the case of both the parents working, there's a huge demand for the preschool. Do you see that happening not necessarily in Bangalore, but when you compare to the tier two cities as well? Do you see
I
that
think,
trend going up?
yeah, yeah. I think the trend of having both the couple in the family being actively engaged in their professions are more common, not only in cities like Bangalore but also outside. And therefore, because of this, the necessity of a preschool for their children. In fact, not just the preschool. Preschools usually, works for until afternoon around 1:30 or 2:30 max. After this, the requirement for having daycares are also becoming much more compelling in tier 2 and 3 towns, say up to around 5:30 also, and sometimes 6 o'clock here in Bangalore.
Okay. And also, apart from this, can you tell us a little bit about if your franchisee, Kitish? When did you start? How do you operate this, and what is the franchisee model that you have on your mind?
So the franchising model, we basically cater to three different models. I would say we have a franchising model for bigger cities like Bangalore, so wherein the investment will go up to 15 lakh rupees for a preschool, and for a tier tier two or tier three kind of a towns, we have a franchising model that is starting from 6 lakh rupees onwards. So 6 lakhs, is the first tier of franchisee, wherein with the minimal investment and we have minimal infrastructure, you can start off with a preschool. And 9 lakh rupees will be the second model, and 15 lakhs will be the third model, wherein you have everything a preschool parent would expect from a school in schools like in Bangalore. So this is a kind of investment that people can think around 6 lakhs to around 15 lakh rupees. So depending upon their place of starting of the school, they can invest this kind of money to start off with a preschool. And apart
Nicely.
from this, apart from this, the one unique part of our preschool franchisee of little kids is also that, we have our own teacher training institute called NICC. I can say, in terms of numbers, we train close to around 800, 900 teachers every year from all our branches. So we have this very good teacher support also. So anybody who wants to hire a teacher, we can have our own teachers. We can send our teachers there. And once a preschool also starts running on a monthly basis, we train the teachers as to how the curriculum has to be taken care in the preschool. So the whole work of lesson planning, hiring of teachers, or execution of all these things, most of these things are being already, the pain points are fulfilled by the franchisor, that is Little Kids itself.
Okay, okay. So whatever the size of the investment, every teacher or every center goes through this rigorous training process.
Yes, definitely. The training is something that is common for everything. This is a basic
Okay,
necessity of any running of a preschool, I would say.
right. Okay. Since we're talking about the preschools, can you tell us a little bit about which category you would fit in as far as a lot of other preschools are concerned? Because uh, we talk about Euro Kids, we talk about Bachpan, etc., all kidsy. So are all these same, or are we different, or is Little Kids a little different compared to all these? Can you tell us how unique you are about this?
So usually, many of the preschools are now having very organized method of delivering the lessons and lesson plans. It is more important as to how we manage our franchises, and also as to how what kind of support that we can give. The bigger brands that we say in the market, like say Eurokids, or few other preschool chains that are there in the market, are kind of being promoted or pushed by bigger corporates. So the visibility in the audio, in the market, is much more when compared to the schools that are growing organically. So I would put myself as a school that is growing organically, and we currently have around 20 centers of preschools, and say around 42 teacher training institutes that are currently there, and we cater to close to around 180 preschools across Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, and Andhra Pradesh also, in terms of curriculum training and other things also. So I would say it is the curriculum that we have developed has been backed a lot of awards also. Recently, there was an award for early childhood education sector, and then we won the best curriculum related award in that event. And what is keeping us very separately is we have a very innovative curriculum that delivers what is being required inside a preschool, and to bring give the best kind of a foundation for a child to uh, grow the child very curiously, and also explore themselves in a very without any fear. So that is making the enjoy learning enjoyable is the main idea of our curriculum, I would say.
Super. On that note, where you said that to make learning more enjoyable, that itself stands testimony to the kind of mindset and vision and mission that little kids have. Uh, very, very glad to know to hear on that. And also, congratulations on numbers that you guys have achieved over the past few years. Uh, Considering the COVID period, I guess this is one industry, schooling industry is one that has been severely hit because of the COVID. But in spite of that hiatus, you have ringed in wonderful numbers. Congratulations on that note as well, and all the best. You have wonderful recognition as well as far as your curriculum is concerned. That's so wonderful. So I would like to ask you at this point of time, since we are speaking about the curriculum, how frequently is your curriculum looked into and fine tuned? Is that does that happen annually, or does it happen once in 5 years?
So usually
How?
the curriculum development, it's an ongoing process. So we have a teacher training institute, as I told you. All these three entities that I told you. One is the preschooling teacher training institute, and the other one is the books and curriculum. So all these
Okay.
things are tightly connected with each other. Basically, the curriculum keeps on developing. There is no stop. There is a new method of teaching or anything. So first we'll start implementing it, or our teacher training institute, the people there will do a small research there, and they will make a report whether it is the right thing to go into the curriculum or not. So basically, a lot of iterations, would have already been completed before it comes into the books in mass, right? So we carefully make sure the books are being scrutinized, and it happens on a continuous basis.
Nitish,
We
there's a
while
little noise. There's a lag
rulers are,
in the video.
yeah.
Yeah, right. Can
Okay.
you please go
Am I
ahead?
audible now?
Yes, you are audible now.
Yeah. So the development and of the curriculum will happen on a continuous basis. There is basically we do not have any time frame as to when a new thing has to be implemented. As and when the new concepts and new methods of teaching and learning is being invented or discovered in our process. So we keep on adding them into the curriculum, and say for the books, you can say once in 2 years we will update the books. Although it is not there in the books, doesn't mean that we are not teaching them. So we basically have a monthly training sessions, as I told you now,
Very
right?
good.
So in the monthly training sessions, we touch up all these things, and then we train the teachers as to how you can deal with the children in a more efficient manner.
Right, Kish. Since you're saying that the training curriculum is the same irrespective of the size of the investment, you were talking about 6, 9, and 15 lakh investment. Did I get it correct?
That is correct. Yes.
So among these three things, it's the investment variation is only because of the kind of infrastructure that is provided to the franchisee, or
It is an
uh,
infrastructure. See, when you say about say 9 lakh rupees of investment, so we or say 6 lakh rupees of investment, we start off with only having playgroup and nursery sections only, and not the LKG and UKG sections. So to
right,
start off with a smaller investment, you grow little on a slow basis. And say in 15 lakh rupees, we have a Montessori lab also coming into the place. So Montessori lab
okay,
is not so much required, and it is basically integrating the method of teaching called Montessori inside the preschool needs its own environment, and kind of trained faculties. Sometimes we cannot find this kind of faculties inside in a rural background, and it is
correct,
also more useful. The lab per se is much more useful for LKG and UKG when the children are little grown up. In playgroup and nursery, we introduce Montessori, of course, but it can be done inside the school, inside the classroom. There is no need to have a separate environment as such, so that you can keep the investment on a little lower side, and still be able to deliver the effective classes for children.
super. And since we're talking about the numbers and investments, what would the ideal break-even period be, considering it's going to be set up in a tier two or a tier three city, Kirtish?
So tier 2 and I would say on 40 numbers is a break number. So we have on 40 admissions
Kitish, we really don't hear
year.
you.
So
There's a lot of
kind of
difference. Yeah,
yeah.
Kitish, yes. Go ahead, please.
Can I repeat now?
Yes, please do.
Yeah. So in tier 2 and 3 towns, I would say 40 is the numbers that we look at. So if at all we
Okay.
have around 40 admissions for an year,
Okay.
whatever the investment that we have done is basically it is a we would be gaining it. Anything about 40 admissions is our profits, I would say.
Super, super. Okay. And how has the response been so far?
Response is really good. Like wherever we start the preschool and with very good marketing strategies that we normally provide for the franchisees.
Okay.
So once it has been executed well, so it can generate very good amount of admissions. Most of the schools are breaking even in the first year, I would say.
Kitish, most of the schools?
Break even with the numbers in the first year of their starting of the preschool.
Very good. Very good. Okay. Okay. And beyond that, what, since when you talk about the return investment, ROI, would you assert a number to the ROI beyond that?
Come again?
I'm asking you about the return on the investment. So let's say if a very novice person who knows nothing about this but is very keen on starting a preschool by investing with you, let's say he puts in about 9 or 10 lakh of rupee, and he has more number of admissions wherein he can break even in a year's time. And beyond that,
Yeah.
after that 1 year, what is the return on investment that one can expect? Would you like to assert in a certain number to
So,
it?
see, normally we have around 45, 50 admissions in the first year, I would
Okay.
say. So, say around 50 admissions, another 10 admissions additional. So, you would
Okay.
say that would, be the motivation for the profit of that particular annum. And these numbers, I can say around 30, 35 admissions every year to grow in numbers. So, around for the second year, we would easily expect around 75, 80 admissions, and we try to pitch in to start a new preschool after that also, start a new branch, I would say.
Super. Very good. So the master franchisee is always there to hold the hand and guide the franchisee owner
Yeah,
at
yeah,
all
of course.
steps.
Yeah, starting from making it a more like a turnkey project of converting a normal looking premises into a preschool. From the time of marketing, admissions, training the faculties, and hiring the teachers, especially, right? So from that particular stage on to until pitching them for a new center. Once they have more than 100 admissions, we would normally pitch in for a new admission, new center, because now, 1 minute. Yeah.
Sure.
So since they have already crossed more than 100 admissions, we would also pitch in, ask them to start a new center. I would say most of our centers are owned by the people who, having more than one center, right? Or they at least refer to their own sisters in the family. Some of the families are
Okay.
having around 5 branches, and some
Okay.
of them are themselves are having more than one center. So like this.
Use this conversation that is happening over the last 20 to 25 minutes stands a real testimony, like, to how you handle the business, because we see a lot of clarity in what you mean to do and what you say. So that's a wonderful outcome, which actually is lacking in a lot of new entrepreneurs, some green people who join into these business. And now that you're into preschool business, which is something that is very very sensitive as far as a nuclear family is concerned, that's something I
Correct.
guess you're doing pretty well. And very very good, Kitish. We need to congratulate you on that note. And thank you for joining on the We Talk show. But before we move forward, let us thank our sponsors who have been very very generous to ensure that they are here and backing up this We Talk show. We have Hasini Informatics Private Limited, Dr. Suvarna Kumar Garu and Sandhya from Agastya. And we also have Holopack Securities, Marjeti Sriram Srinivas from Netra, who have been kind enough to sponsor the We Talk show. Thank you so much, gentlemen. At the same time, Kitish, we have a few comments flowing in. Can we take a couple of minutes to read the comments?
Yeah, sure, we'll do that.
Sure. Kitish, we have the first comment from Raghuram Garu, who says, Happy evening to the stalwarts. Thank you, Raghuram Garu, for logging in. You've been such a gentleman, always patting on our back to ensure that you're there. Thank you, sir. We have BSA Gupta Bhagwan Garu saying, Good evening, both reached home just now. Sorry for joining late, sir. We are glad that you have joined. Thank you so much, Gupta Garu. We have Sandesh Kumar having a message. Good evening, Raghuram Bro and Kirtish Garu. Kirtish Garu created an amazing skill set with a unique curriculum plan for early age students. I would like to associate with him for all kinds of stationery and art materials. I wish you all the best. Kirtish, this looks like a link probably. He's looking forward to work with you, Sandesh Bhai.
Yes, Sandesh Garu. Definitely let us connect, and then grow together.
Nice, Kirtish. Thank you for that. And we have Dr. Suvarna Kumar Gogulagaru sending a message saying, Hello, Mr. Raghu and Mr. Kirtish. I was very fortunate to meet all Tumkur members on the first anniversary. Kirtish, are you planning for giving franchisee options for your preschool so that it would be an opportunity for other members to collaborate and have passive income? Anna, thank you so much for logging in and thank you for the comment. I guess Kirtish had already answered this question, but we'll urge him to again be a little more elaborate on this particular comment. Thank you for bringing it here in the conversation. Kirtish, all
Dr.
yours.
Suvarna, yeah, Dr. Suvarna Kumar sir, Garu, definitely we would be, planning to give the franchisee for Tumkur Center if at all you are from Tumkur locality. So we
He
already
is
have a.
actually from Visakhapatnam. He had a chance to be in Tumkur, Kirtish.
Oh, I see. Okay, okay, okay. So if it is in Tumkur, then we have already have a training center in Tumkur. So getting the teachers there is much more easier. And since we have an our ecosystem already developed there, it becomes even more easier. And for Visakhapatnam also, we have some of the candidates that have joined from Visakhapatnam region in our previous batches. Probably, if at all, full-fledgedly the teacher training part can be established after starting of the preschool. So the opportunity of starting a preschool also comes along with starting of a teacher training institute in all the branches. The franchisee of NICC, the Little Kids Preschool, can also be tagged along with the NICC. Therefore, the passive income for running a successful business would be not even 1 year. It can be much more sooner also. So that is one plus point I would say anybody that are looking for starting a franchise. And for Visakhapatnam, definitely we are very open for giving a franchisee there, and we can do the handholding.
Nice, Kirtish. Thank you for answering that question. And all those people from Visakhapatnam who are watching this and you have a keen interest and passion investing in this preschool business, please do not forget to make a note of the number that is there on the scroll. It is 98862 00988. Please reach out to Kirtish for Little Kids Preschool. Thank you, Suvanana. Thank you so much for creating this platform of WeTalk show, and thank you for logging in, passing on comments, encouraging our fellow members and the guests by asking questions. Thank you so much. We have Mr. Ajay Nagaraj who says, Good evening, Raghu Garu and Kirtish Garu. Good evening, Nagaraj Garu. We also have Mr. Sanjay Gotlur. Good going, Raghu and Kirtish Garu. Thank you, Sanjay Bhai. Thank you so much for always logging in, being there for the WeTalk show. Kirtish, we have a comment from Mr. Ajay Nagraj. He says, Kirtish comes with immense knowledge in an evergreen category of education. They have empowered 10,000 plus women as part of the teacher training program. That's the right number, Kirtish?
Yeah, yeah. I can say a little more now. So recently, our batch got graduated in the last month, and we have close to around 10,600 plus. Yeah.
Super, Kirtish. That's quite an amazing effort. We have a comment from Prashant Chilla Shankar Garu saying, Good evening, Raghu and Kirtish Garu. Good evening, sir. We also have a comment from Vishwesh Gupta Irukula who says, Good evening, Raghu Garu and Kirtish Garu. Thank you, Vishwesh Garu. Thank you for joining. And also, thank you, Prashant Garu, for joining in the show. We have another comment from Ajay Nagaraj Garu who says, They recently organized a pet show at Little Kids where children had the opportunity to experience and enjoy interacting with pets.
Yeah.
That
So
is true, Kirtish?
yeah, this is one of the few programs that we do. Every
Okay.
once in few months we have very innovative things that are going on. So we recently
Okay.
we had a pet show that has been organized in Little Kids Preschools in most of the branches, wherein we bring in the pet animals from different. So there are so many pet animals that we have not even seen, right? We only know that cat, dog, and probably cow, calf, goat are these are some of the ones that are there in the pet animal category, right? So there are so many tens of animals that are there that are not been considered as a pet animal. As simple as iguana, we had actually got an iguana inside the school premises for children to touch, feel, and click pictures with them. So this is somewhere that although they look very fearful, it is 100% vegetarian kind of an animal. So basically, this kind of exposure would be given only by organizations like us. Uh, Parents would love to bring their children to our campus, and it also works as a publicity for our school in that locality. Next year, without doing any advertisement, you would get all the admissions filled in a very short amount of time.
Super Kirtish, that's two birds at a single shot. That's wonderful. At the same time, the way you're conducting the events and the way you're thinking really stands out of the box. That's so wonderful. Probably the kids might not have it on a regular basis, but that just one day wherein they come and meet the pets, it will be a cherished memory for all of them.
Of course.
Nice. We'll move on. We have another comment from BSA Gupta Garu, Bhagwan Garu, who says, "What's the minimum size required to start a preschool?" Would you
So
like
the
to answer
minimum
this question?
area, yeah, the minimum area required to start a preschool is around 2,000 square feet of area. We can do it in little smaller premises also. Probably if you have a 30-40, say around 1,200 square feet of area into ground and first floor with an open area. Open area is a must for running a preschool. Lesser than that is definitely not recommended, nor we will not give franchising. So 2,000 square feet of area is what we are looking at to give a franchise.
Right. Any other prerequisites that you talk about, Kirtish?
So
Size of the investment and the area is addressed. Any other prerequisites?
these are the two things. Usually, we also give anybody who is looking to start a franchisee with us. We would ask them to come to us at least 6 months in advance. The only reason being this is we also train them. So training
Okay.
the franchisee partner to run a successful preschool is a very important factor in giving a franchise. So giving a franchise, probably everyone can do it, but the only thing is training them as to how to run a successful business there is the most important part. And our training program, everybody needs to attend the training program. If they come with their investment and property, it is not sufficient. Probably also get a person from your family or a friend who can dedicate their time in our training program. Once they go through our training program, then we'll be able to give you a franchise or start a preschool.
Super. So all those gentlemen who are looking forward to invest in the preschool business with little kids with Kirtish, please do make a note that other than the property or the area wherein you wish to start the preschool and the money, you would also have one loved one who would like to take care of this center. Preschool. Yes, sir. Kirtish had just addressed this point. Kirtish, would you like to add anything more to this question?
Yeah, definitely. We would, give you a franchisee given that you give us time enough time to teach you the ABCD of preschool.
Well answered. Bhagwan Garu also says, posts a comment saying, I mean, what is the support going to get from you? Right, sir. That is exactly what Kirtish is trying to say. So he's going to help you with every step in ensuring that the preschool is going to be a good one, a good center. We also have a comment from Ramya Narendra Garu who says recently they organized a pet show in Chandra Layout School. My kids enjoyed with pet animals. It was a wonderful experience to us and for us. Nice, madam. Kirtish had just is just talking about this, and it's a wonderful idea on the side of little kids. And at the same time, you can see one testimonial wherein a happy parent is probably talking about the result or the outcome of the effort.
Thank you so much, Ramya
We have
Garu.
another.
We had invited all the group members of Atraya family to come and visit, and all the members of WeVysya family to come and experience it. Many of them had visited and enjoyed with their children.
Super. We have a comment from Ram Gokavarupugaru who says, excellent ideas. We will explore the opportunities to discuss further details, says Rambabu Garu. Nice, brother. Kitish, we have probably an interested individual from Vysya Vishakhapatnam who would be interested in the opportunity. He is Rambabu Garu from Vizag, who runs a training institute here as well, among the many businesses that he has.
Oh, very nice. I'm glad to connect Ram Gopal.
And we have Ramya Narendra Garu also saying we touched all pet animals too. Nice. This effort looks like it's a hit. It's a huge hit among the parents as well as the children, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. The experience of having different. In fact, we also had animal all of us have seen cows and calves, right? So there
Right.
is a very special breed in South India that is Guntur Gitta, right? So
Absolutely.
we happen to have
You can see Ongol
cow of
Gita.
that breed also to come into the
It's not
school.
Guntur, it's Ongol.
Ongol Gita, sorry, yeah. So
Yeah,
we had
right.
an opportunity for having that Ongol Gita also inside the school, and then the children were very excited to see such a short and adult cow. They had never imagined or never. It's not there in any of the books, by the way. right? So we always learn the Jersey cow kind of a concept in our preschool books. So having seeing a adult small cow was really special for most of them. And by way of this, they kind of have this build the attachment with the animals, and then having care for them and all. Many of them wanted to adopt these animals into their house. So that is
Very good.
a different story altogether. Yeah.
Super, super, Kirtish. Wonderful efforts, man. It all sounds, I mean, the way you speak, the way you're trying to explain things really elucidates how you run your business as well. Thank you so much for throwing so much light on how you work and how you help others work. Now, I need to ask you this question. How did Vivasha happen to you, to a man who is always busy in setting up things?
Uh, to be honest, I had a friend of mine who was a part of WeVysya community, and his name is Sangarsh and Surya. So these are my two classmates that studied along with me in hostel in Madanapalli, which I
Okay.
started, told you. So these two
Okay.
guys were a part of WeVysya, and then they invited me for being a part of WeVysya to come as a guest initially. After I came
Okay.
as a guest, it really motivated me to be a part of the WeVysya community, having networking and growing the business together. I felt it was a very promising the platform that Mr. Anil Garu had created for all of us.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right. He did a phenomenal job for the community and for the brotherhood. Nice, Kirtish. So, how long into Vivasha now?
It's been close to around 10 months now, I would say, or say 1 year, close to 1 year.
Nice. And how has the experience been so far?
Experience is really good. Always, meeting new people and then building new connections. It's been good. In fact, I was able to get more businesses from different houses also. In fact, not only limited to my own house. So interacting with other house members also becomes very important. One of my main vendor of school bags is actually from Dhruva House, I would say. So yeah, like this, like definitely for next coming year, we have much more uh, a few vendors that have contacted me are like also having promising better business together.
Super. That's very good. That's very good to know. Uh, Kirtish, we have a couple more comments from BSA Gupta Garu. Let's try to address it. Bhagavan Gupta Garu says, Ongol Gita movie, I know, have not heard there is an animal.
Okay.
Right, so Kirtish efforts in ensuring these kind of initiatives are really fructifying. Thanks for the comment. But then now you know the answer that there is a breed called Ongol Gita. Nice. And he also says, wow, Surya and Sangash were your classmates. Nice to know this. Both are like sun and moon of Vivasya.
Yeah.
Wonderful comments, Bhagavan Garu. Thank you so much for taking the effort of posing a question and getting the answers. And Kirish, it's been about 42 minutes since we started the conversation, and the time just flew by. Do you have any closing comments before we call it a day?
I would encourage all of our WeVysya members to probably have a passive income, source in the early childhood education. Early childhood education is, a booming sector in India now, and definitely the trend as we see is much more, having a lot of better uh, I would say, potential business that is currently going on. So when the business is going on, this is the right time to get involved. I know most of the WeVysya members are already busy in their own businesses. I definitely agree. But businessmen also have one special trait of having more than one source of income. I would definitely recommend you to have a second source of income in the early childhood education. Probably, if at all you are into business, you can ask your spouse to be a part of it. It can be your husband, it can be your wife who can come and commit themselves here. It is very rewarding. I would ask everyone to be a part of the early childhood education journey with Little Kids Preschool. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Kirtish. Thank you for that wonderful session that we've had with you. And for all those people who found this very interesting and as well as very opportunistic, please do make a note of the number that is running on the scroll. This is Kirtish Markham from Little Kids Preschool. And you have the number which is on the scroll below. Please do not forget to make a note of it. And thank you so much for joining in. The number is 98862 00988. Please do make a note of this. And we have one last comment, Kirtish, from the viewers. We have Ramya Garu saying the books they publish are of a very good quality. Do you publish books, Kirtish?
Yeah. We also are into book publication. Basically, the pre-primary books. As I told you, around 180 schools are currently using our books in Karnataka right now. So this number is likely to increase in the coming years. Only from 2022, I would say. Basically, this is our second year of entry into publication, and already around 180 schools have taken. I'm very positive about it. I would say, and whatever that we have done until now, is one part, and what we have been doing it since last 2 years is the next trajectory of journey. So these books that we have come up with only the experience of these 20 years of running this pre-primary business. Our preschooling and teacher training is the main source of high quality content for the children.
Nice. Very good, Kirtish. Thank you so much. And we have one last comment from Ram Gokavarpugaru who says, excellent Raghu Garu and Kirti. Very interesting and informative session. Thank you, Ram Garu. Thank you for the nice words. And thank you, Kirtish, for making it very, very interesting and informative. And I guess the last 45 minutes have been very, very productive for every viewer who had watched this. Thank you for agreeing to be on the show. I'm so glad that you could make time for this, apart from your busy schedule. Any closing comments, Kirtish, before we call it a day now?
That's all I think. Thank you so much, Raghu Garu, for being a host, and then asking the right questions for the audience, and then excellent audience for being very responsive as well. Thank you so much.
Super, super. Thank you, Kirtish. Good night, brother.
Thank you all.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's pretty much for the day. Thank you so much for joining in. It's been a wonderful session with Kirtish. He's been very, very knowledgeable. He shared all the information he can about the franchisee opportunities, as well as how the future is going to be for the preschool that he intends to scale it up. Please do join him. You have the numbers that is on the scroll. You can reach out to Kirtish of Little Kids Preschool on the below number that you see on the scroll. It is 98862 00988. Please do reach out to him. And before we call it a day, thank you so much for joining in on this Monday night with a new guest and a new moderator. Please do wait for episode 50 of season 2 on the WeTalk show. Until I meet you the next time, have a wonderful and a productive week ahead. Have a Merry Christmas, and we'll see you the next Monday again. Thank you so much for joining in. This is Raghu Vankaira signing off.
WeVysya, the talk show వెలుగుదాం స్ఫూర్తి నింపుతో గెలుపే మన సొంతం. WeVysya, season 2.